So we will start with the Ward 6 seat A seats, and the first one to give opening remarks will be Dana Berlin.
Thank you. I am Dana Berlin, and I am running to represent you as your next city councilor for Ward 6. I currently live on Silver Street with my partner of 6 years, Daniel, and our 2 rescue dogs, Bergeron and Duke. I strongly believe we must invest in what is important to you, the taxpayers, and not what a select few believe is best. I believe in transparency and honesty with everyone in the city. I believe in local infrastructure investments, the roads we drive down, the sidewalks our children walk to school on, the water that we all drink. I will be a strong supporter for investing in upgrades and preventative maintenance on all these vital instruments our city provides. I believe in maintaining our education system funding. Spalding High School graduates some of the finest young members of our society, and they deserve the best that we can offer. I believe in career technical education. I was not provided the option to choose the correct path for myself when I was going through school, and our students deserve better. They deserve to choose the path that works best for them. I believe in future redevelopment of our downtown. Tomorrow is here today. We must act for our future, and the future of Rochester is now. We must move the needle of the city forward and invest in our downtown. I believe in supporting our public safety professionals. When the streets of Rochester are safe, everyone succeeds. Our businesses thrive, citizens shop local, and recreational programs bloom throughout the city. My biggest and most long-term goal is to protect this city's financial and economic stability and promote growth and redevelopment, not only in the downtown, but across the city. Our greatest opportunity to build up Rochester is through smart investments and balanced programs at the city's disposal. 79E is an important program, and we must not abandon or pump the brakes like other candidates here tonight have said. It is grossly irresponsible and narrowly sighted not to utilize such an important program that the city has at its disposal. My name is Dana Berlin, and I'm asking for your vote on November 2nd to move the needle forward for the city of Rochester. Vote for someone who shows compassion, leadership, and transparency to the citizens. Vote Dana Berlin for Rochester City Council. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Berlin. We will now turn to our esteemed media panel. Once again, joining us is Mr. Matt Mowry from Business NH Magazine and Mr. Harrison Thorpe from the Rochester Voice. And our first question will be from Harrison Thorpe, and it will be to candidates for Ward 6 Seat A, and we will start with Mr. Dana Berlin.
Hi there. Rochester has taken a very active role in its marketing of properties that it has acquired, and it's acquired quite a few properties. Do you think they have gone too far in their marketing and acquisition of properties, or do you think they have not gone far enough?
I don't think that they've gone too far, no. You have to realize that a lot of these properties that are being purchased are owned by people out of state who are using them as tax breaks. They're purposely keeping them vacant. So what are the tools that the city can use to get somebody into those buildings? Well, you have to purchase those buildings from the people that are doing nothing with them. So no, I don't think that they've gone too far.
Thank you, Mr. Berlin. We'll now hear. All right, our next question will be from Mr. Matt Mowry, and we'll start with Ward 1 and work to Ward 6.
I want to explore a little bit more about downtown. So as we have noted, there's been a lot of economic wins in recent years here in the city, but downtown has been a tougher nut to crack. So what specific action, investment, or policy would you push the city to move towards in order to make a downtown a more vibrant one, as we have seen happen in Portsmouth and Dover?
I'll hear from Ward 6 Seat A challenger, Mr. Dana Berlin.
Yes, thank you for the question. You asked specifically about programs or something like that. 79E is really beneficial for the city because outside of enticing somebody to come and develop a building that you already have in your city, what's going to make them come here? We need to offer some type of enticement for developers to come and redevelop our downtown. Another thing is a lack of parking. We need to invest in substantial parking if we're going to continue with redevelopment of the downtown, because what good is it to bring more business, more people to downtown if you don't have the parking to sustain them.
Thank you, Mr. Berlin. Now, Richardson. All right, our next question will be from Harrison Thorpe, and we will start with Ward 2, so you can address your question to Mr. Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, how would you balance the needs of Rochester's homeless with the responsibility of keeping taxes down for the taxpayers? And to drill down more on that specifically, what services do you believe the city should offer the homeless?
Thank you. Now go to Ward 6 Seat A and candidate Dana Berlin.
Thank you. So it's my opinion that fixing the homeless issue in Rochester should not fall on the Rochester taxpayers. I am in favor of not a homeless shelter in Rochester, not just a place to sleep. I'm in favor of a low barrier shelter, something that has more than just a bed to sleep in. I'm in favor of something that people can go to get help with writing a resume, with taking a shower, to go to a job interview. But again, I don't think that burden falls solely on the taxpayers of Rochester. So I think we need to work with federal, state, county services to figure this issue out together. I don't think it should be solely on the taxpayers of Rochester. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll hear.
We've heard a lot tonight about the need to make Rochester a safer city, but we haven't heard a lot of specifics on how to go about doing that. So my question is, if you are elected to city council, what investments or policy or other levers will you push for? What does it mean to you? And what kind of actions need to be taken to make Rochester a safer city?
Mr. Berlin.
So I'm not in law enforcement. I've never been in law enforcement, so I don't claim to have all the answers on this specific topic. But something that I will say is that I think we need to better understand what they go through on a daily basis. I've already reached out for a ride along, just so I can personally understand what they go through on a day-to-day basis. I think absolutely we do need more police officers. We need more patrols. I've gone door to door, and almost everybody that I've spoken with has said that they have speeders going through their neighborhood on a daily basis. So if just a regular citizen is complaining about this, well, then what's the solution? Add more. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Berlin. Next, we'll move to.
What is the best asset that you think that you'll bring to the table as a city councilor?
All right, that's a great question. We'll start with.
So in my opinion, my greatest asset is honesty, openness, and transparency. I think that's what a lot of the citizens want from the city council, and I think that's the duty of an elected official, to be open, transparent, and honest.
Thank you. Ms. Zimmerman. We will now move to some audience questions, and we have received some. We'll keep the time limit, Mr. Bollier, at 30 seconds on these. And I'll start this question with Ward 1, and we'll work to Ward 6. It's a very quick question. It's coming in from Ward 1. And the resident asks, please ask all candidates what their highest level of education is. College. Thank you. Mr. Berlin.
I have a bachelor's degree in graphic design from Lyndon State College in Vermont. I also have a certificate in turf management with highest honors from UMass Amherst.
Thank you. Councilor Gray. The writer asks, do you think Rochester has an identity issue?
No.
Mr. Berlin.
I think that's a question that is going to be different for everybody that you ask, whether it be somebody up here or any citizen. But I don't think Rochester should try to be another city. I think Rochester is perfectly fine being Rochester.
Thank you. Ms. Zimmerman. All right, our next question. This wouldn't be a debate without it. Do you support the tax cap? Let's start in the middle.
So I'm not in favor of the tax cap as it currently is situated. It forces the city's hand to spend up to the dollar amount, and it doesn't account for or allow for years when the city could save money. So I think that we can work and continue, figuring out a better way to utilize the tax cap.
Thank you. Councilor Gray. This one states, do you support defunding the police department? And we'll start with Ward 6 and work down. Berlin?
Yeah, this is a pretty simple answer. No, our police department does not need to be defunded. When our streets are safe, everybody succeeds, and defunding the police is not a way to do that.
Thank you.